The moment the bank officer slid the final document across the polished marble desk, everything Isadora Vance had built over 25 years collapsed into silence. The billionaire who once owned skyscrapers, private jets, and entire city blocks now stared at a single sheet of paper confirming that it was all gone. The markets had turned overnight, her partners vanished, and lawsuits swallowed the last pieces of her empire. Outside the glass tower, the bright daytime city buzzed as if nothing had happened. But inside Isadora's chest, it felt like the sun itself had fallen out of the sky. Before we step deeper into this powerful story, take a moment to support the journey. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unexpected ways life can change in a single moment, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Whisper Tales 3. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Just a week earlier, Isadora had been one of the most influential women in the country. Her name decorated charity galas, business magazines, and towering glass buildings. But wealth can disappear faster than people realize. A massive investment collapse triggered a chain reaction, freezing her assets and leaving her responsible for debts she never saw coming. Within days, the luxurious penthouse was repossessed, the sleek black cars were taken away, and the staff who once filled her halls quietly moved on to other jobs. For the first time since her early 20s, Isadora stood alone with nothing but a small suitcase and a heavy heart. The bright afternoon sun felt strangely harsh as she stepped onto the crowded sidewalk outside the bank. The city she once ruled from the top of glittering towers now looked different from the ground. Office workers hurried past with coffee cups, delivery bikes zipped through traffic, and laughter floated from nearby cafes. None of them recognized her. None of them cared. And in that moment, Isadora realized something frightening. Her entire identity had been tied to the empire she built. Without it, she felt invisible. For the next few days, she drifted through the city like a ghost of her former self. She stayed in the cheapest motel she could find, the kind with flickering hallway lights and faded wallpaper. Each morning she walked outside under the bright blue sky, trying to figure out what came next. Pride made it impossible to call old colleagues for help, especially when many of them had quietly abandoned her during the collapse. The humiliation weighed heavier than the financial loss. On the fifth day, hunger finally pushed her into a modest downtown office building where a small cafe operated in the lobby. She sat alone by the window with the cheapest sandwich on the menu, staring at people rushing through their workday. Their lives seemed simple, predictable. For someone who once controlled billion-dollar deals, the quiet rhythm of ordinary life now felt strangely distant. That was when she noticed him. Across the lobby floor, a janitor pushed a cleaning cart slowly between the marble pillars. His uniform was simple, his movements careful and steady. A small backpack rested on the cart beside him, decorated with cartoon stickers that clearly belonged to a child. Every few minutes, he checked his watch, as if counting down to something important. His name badge read Marcus Alder. There was something about Marcus that caught Isadora's attention. Not his job, not his uniform, but the calm expression on his face. He hummed quietly while polishing the floor, as if the world hadn't just shattered into pieces around him. When a businesswoman accidentally dropped her coffee, Marcus rushed over without hesitation, cleaning the mess with patience and offering a gentle smile that seemed to ease her embarrassment instantly. Isadora found herself watching him longer than she expected. Later that afternoon, while she sat outside the building wondering where she would go next, Marcus stepped out carrying the same backpack. But now a small boy ran toward him from the sidewalk. The child couldn't have been older than 7, with messy hair and bright eyes full of excitement. Marcus lifted the boy into the air like he weighed nothing, spinning him around under the warm afternoon sunlight. The child's laughter echoed down the street, pure and joyful. Isadora felt something stir inside her chest. She had spent decades chasing success, profits, recognition. Yet watching that simple moment between father and son made her realize how quiet her own life had been. Her mansion had once held dozens of rooms, but none of them ever held laughter like that. As Marcus and the boy began walking away, a gust of wind knocked Isadora's small bag off the bench. Papers scattered across the sidewalk, including the final foreclosure notice she had been trying not to look at. Marcus immediately stopped to help gather them. When he saw the document, his expression didn't change to pity or shock. Instead, there was only calm understanding, like someone who knew what hardship looked like. Marcus didn't ask invasive questions. He simply handed the papers back with a steady kindness and mentioned that life sometimes tears everything down so something stronger can be built. His words were simple, but they carried a quiet certainty that startled Isadora more than any financial disaster had. In just those few seconds, something shifted. For days she had felt like her life had ended. But Marcus stood there as living proof that dignity didn't come from money. Here was a man cleaning office floors during the day, raising a child alone, yet carrying more peace than she had ever known while running billion-dollar corporations. As Marcus walked away with his son under the golden afternoon light, Isadora realized something extraordinary. Losing everything had stripped away the noise of wealth and status. For the first time in years, she could see the real world clearly. And sometimes the people with the least money carried the greatest wisdom. That single encounter lasted less than a minute, yet it changed the direction of her life forever. Inspired by the quiet strength she witnessed, Isadora made a decision the very next morning. Instead of chasing another corporate throne, she began volunteering at community centers and small local businesses, learning the value of everyday work and human connection. She started helping struggling entrepreneurs rebuild after financial hardship, using her knowledge not for power but for purpose. Months later, when a new foundation dedicated to supporting single parents opened in the city, Marcus and his son were invited as special guests. Marcus never fully understood how a simple act of kindness had sparked such a transformation. But Isadora knew the truth. Sometimes life doesn't change through massive events or grand speeches. Sometimes it changes in seconds, through the quiet example of an ordinary person living with extraordinary heart. Before this story ends, we have a small request. If this moment moved you even a little, please write the word "hope" in the comments. It helps more people discover stories like this. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Whisper Tales 3. Your support helps spread these meaningful stories to people who might need them today.